My beloved child, listen with your spirit, not just your ears. This is not a normal message. This is not coincidence, and this is not something you were meant to hear later. This is an emergency. Time has folded itself just for you. 4 minutes remain, not on a clock you can see, but on a divine window that has been opened in the heavens. Archangel Michael is standing at the gate of this moment, sword lowered, voice urgent, saying, "Pay attention. This cannot wait." Before you clicked, something stirred inside you. A peher, a pull, almost like someone calling your name from far away, yet very close. That is because a person you love deeply, who now resides in heaven, is reaching toward you. They are not allowed to interfere freely, but today, permission was granted. Not tomorrow, not later. Now, Archangel Michael says this clearly. Do not skip. Do not doubt. Do not minimize what is unfolding. This message found you because your soul was marked for it. Beloved, the one you miss, the one whose voice you still hear in quiet moments, has been watching you. Not in fear, not in regret, but with concern. There is something happening around your life, around your home, around your spiritual covering that required immediate intervention. Heaven does not rush without reason. You may have felt unusual heaviness recently, or sudden memories of them appearing out of nowhere, or dreams that felt more real than normal. These were not random. These were signal. Archangel Michael was preparing you, strengthening you, because what is being revealed now could only be handled by someone chosen, grounded, and protected. Hear this carefully. Your home is at the center of this emergency. Not just the physical building, but the spiritual territory you live in. Walls remember prayers. Rooms absorb emotions. And something hidden, something unresolved, have been quietly influencing the atmosphere where you sleep, think, and decide. Archangel Michael says, there is no panic in heaven, but there is urgency. The urgency is not to scare you, but to wake you. The loved one in heaven is not speaking in words. They are sending knowing. And what they are showing Archangel Michael is this: you were about to miss a sign that would change everything. A decision, a realization, and truth. If delayed, it would cost you peace. If received now, it will unlock protection. You may be asking, why me? Why now? Because you have been strong for too long. Because you carry more than you show. Because you kept moving forward even when parts of you were grieving silently. Heaven saw that strength, and also saw the danger of carrying it alone. Archangel Michael steps forward and declares, I was sent because something unseen crossed a boundary it should not have crossed. This does not mean evil surrounds you. It means you are important enough to be guarded closely. The emergency is this: truth must surface immediately. Something around you is not as it appears. It may involve a person, an agreement, a space, or even a habit that feels harmless. The one in heaven recognizes it clearly, because from where they stand, nothing is hidden. Beloved, this is why your heart feels tight right now. Not fear of recognition. Your spirit already knows. Archangel Michael says, in 4 minutes, clarity will begin to replace confusion, but only if the heart stays open. This is why skipping was mentioned. Distraction is the only thing that could block what is coming. You were never abandoned. You were covered. Even in moments when you questioned God, even when you whispered anger through tears, even when you felt unheard, heaven stayed close. The loved one in heaven is not sad. They are alert. They are pointing, urging, insisting that you see. They know what happens if you ignore this nudge, and they also know the breakthrough waiting if you receive it. Archangel Michael now places his sword, not to fight, but to separate, to cut through illusion, to divide truth from assumption, to protect your dwelling, your rest, your future decisions. Beloved child, this message is not about loss. It is about continuity. Love did not end. Connection did not end. Assignment did not end. And hear this promise spoken with authority: nothing meant for harm will succeed once awareness enters the room. You are not late. You are not behind. You arrived at the exact second heaven planned. Stay present. Something is about to be revealed that will explain why this had to be urgent, why 4 minutes mattered, and why your loved one could not stay silent any longer. If you feel this stirring deep inside, if your chest feels warm or heavy, that is not emotion alone. It is confirmation. Say nothing yet. Just receive. Archangel Michael is not finished speaking. My precious one, now that you have stepped fully into this moment, Archangel Michael speaks again with a calmer voice. But the urgency has not disappeared. It has simply shifted into precision. Heaven does not repeat messages unless the soul is ready to understand them deeper. And you are ready now. Archangel Michael reveals that the emergency was not created suddenly. It has been building quietly, layer by layer, while you were busy surviving, adjusting, and holding things together. What felt like normal exhaustion, normal distraction, or normal emotional distance was actually your spirit working overtime to protect you from seeing something before the right time. Timing matters in the spiritual realm. Seeing too early can wound. Seeing too late can cost destiny. This moment is balanced perfectly between the two. The loved one who stands in heaven has been present in your life more than you realize. Not interfering, not controlling, but observing. They notice patterns repeating around you. Conversations looping. Doors that looked open but led nowhere. They recognized this pattern because they once lived it too. From heaven's vantage point, they could see how close you were to accepting something that was never meant to stay in your life long term. Archangel Michael says the issue is not danger, it is misalignment. Something that once fit no longer does. And heaven is intervening because you were about to blame yourself for the discomfort instead of recognizing it as divine correction. Your home, your routine, and your inner world are undergoing a quiet inspection right now. Not judgment, inspection. What carries peace will remain. What drains you without nourishing you will be exposed. This is why the message feels personal. It is not for crowds. It is for you. You may notice memories surfacing today that seem unrelated. Old conversations. Old promises. Old warnings you ignored because you were trying to be kind, patient, or strong. Archangel Michael confirms that these memories are being returned to you not to create regret, but to restore discernment. You are not here to repeat cycles, you are here to close them. Beloved, understand this clearly. The one you love in heaven is not trying to pull you backward. They are pushing you forward. They know what lies ahead for you, and they know what cannot go with you. Love does not cling. Love prepares. Archangel Michael says there is a spiritual line being redrawn around your life. Some access will be revoked. Some influences will lose their power over your emotions. You may feel a sudden desire to rearrange your space, clean, remove items, or distance yourself from certain conversations. These are not random urges. They are responses to protection activating. This is also why your sensitivity has increased. You feel things faster now. You notice shifts quicker. What once took months to bother you now takes minutes. That is growth, not weakness. Heaven sharpens perception before major alignment. Now hear this gently, but firmly. Do not minimize what you are sensing. Doubt is the only thing that could delay what is unfolding. You do not need proof yet. Clarity will follow obedience, not the other way around. Archangel Michael reminds you that you have already survived worse than this. The difference now is that you are not alone in the process. Assistance had been authorized. Guidance has been assigned. You are not expected to figure everything out. You are expected to listen. If this message is resonating, if you feel seen in a way that words usually miss, this is a moment to engage, not stay silent. Take a second to like this message so its reach expands to others who are also waiting for confirmation. Share it with someone who had been feeling an unexplainable pull lately. Leave a comment, even if it is just a simple word, because interaction anchors spiritual intention into the physical world. And if this space feels safe and guided to you, make sure you are subscribed, because what is unfolding is a process, not a single moment. Archangel Michael says, momentum matters, but you engage with grow stronger. There is more coming, much more, but it can only unfold step by step. Some truths must arrive gently so they heal instead of shock. Others must arrive suddenly so they protect instead of warn too late. The loved one in heaven is at peace now, but they are also purposeful. Their role did not end with their last breath. It shifted. And right now, their role is to make sure you do not settle for a version of life that is smaller than what was promised to you. Stay grounded. Stay present. What you are about to understand next will connect the urgency to a specific revelation, one that explains why heaven moves so quickly for you. Archangel Michael remains near, and this message is still unfolding. Beloved soul, as this message deepens, Archangel Michael steps closer, not to alarm you, but to anchor you. What is being revealed now is the reason heaven allowed urgency to enter your life. Some messages are whispers. This one is a hand on your shoulder, firm and loving, saying, "Now you see why." The emergency was never about panic. It was about protection through awareness. Archangel Michael reveals that something subtle had been forming around your life, quiet enough to be ignored, familiar enough to be tolerated. Over time, it began to shape your choices without your consent, not through force but through fatigue. And heaven does not allow the chosen to drift unknowingly. The person you love in heaven recognized this pattern instantly. They saw you adapting when you should have been advancing, compromising when you were meant to be crowned with clarity. They remember how easy it is on earth to confuse patience with permission. From heaven, they could see the cost forming ahead, and they asked for intervention. Archangel Michael declares that your spirit was never weak, only overextended. You have been giving more than you realized, carrying expectations that were never yours to fulfill. This is why rest never felt like enough. This is why peace felt temporary. This is why certain relationships or environments felt heavy even on good days. Now hear this clearly. The exposure happening is not about shame. It is about release. What is being uncovered will not embarrass you. It will free you. There is a truth about your living situation, your emotional attachments, or a recurring influence that has quietly outlived its season. It once served a purpose. It once felt safe. But now, it is restricting the next phase of your life. Archangel Michael says, what protected you before cannot lead you forward now. This is why the urgency carried the phrase 4 minutes left. It symbolized the final grace period before automatic separation would have occurred without your understanding. Heaven prefers consent over force, awareness over shock. Beloved, the one in heaven is not accusing anyone around you. They are simply highlighting alignment. Love from heaven does not attack, it illuminates. And what is illuminated cannot remain hidden. You may soon notice conversations revealing intentions more clearly. People showing you who they truly are without saying a word. Situations resolving themselves without struggle. This is not coincidence. This is Archangel Michael standing guard while truth surfaces naturally. Do not rush to confront. Do not rush to explain. Stillness is part of protection. When clarity arrives, action becomes obvious. Archangel Michael now releases this assurance. Nothing that leaves your life during this season was meant to go with you into the promise. Loss and protection can look similar at first, but their fruit is very different. The loved one in heaven wants you to know this most of all. They are proud of you. Not for what you endured, but for what you refused to become because of it. Your kindness did not harden. Your faith did not disappear. And now, heaven is responding. A shift has already begun. Even as you listen, something unseen has adjusted. You may not feel it emotionally yet, but spiritually, a lock has been opened. Receive this activation with reverence. Type "I receive divine protection" in the comments if this message is confirming what your spirit already knew. Blessing code 4455 has just been released. This is the moment. Your light must travel further than this space. As Archangel Michael exposes what was hidden to protect you, understand this. Your support becomes a doorway for others still living in confusion. When you give, you are sowing oil into lamps that are about to go out, and heaven promises that oil never runs dry. The word declares that those who scatter will yet increase, and I speak that promise directly over you now. I feel led to tell you plainly, your obedience in this moment is being watched by heaven. Let your giving become a prophetic act that keeps this river of truth flowing. Use Super Thanks. Join the membership, or release your seed through PayPal. The link is waiting in the description. Do it now, and watch how protection multiplies back into your own house. What comes next will bring even deeper clarity, and you will finally understand who this exposure is truly for. Chosen one, Archangel Michael now asks you to breathe deeper, not because danger is near, but because revelation is settling. What was urgent is now becoming understandable. Heaven never reveals everything at once. It unfolds truth in layers so the soul is not overwhelmed. You are strong, yes, but even strength must be honored with wisdom. What is being clarified now is who this exposure is truly for. It is not to punish anyone. It is not to create conflict. It is to reposition you. Archangel Michael reveals that there has been a quiet mismatch between who you have become and what has remained around you. Growth always creates tension. When the soul expands, environments that once felt comfortable can start to feel restrictive. This does not mean they are bad. It means you have outgrown them. The loved one in heaven understands this deeply. From where they stand, they can see the version of you that is emerging. They see doors opening that you cannot yet see. And they also see weights, small but constant, that would slow you down if they stayed attached. That is why they insisted this message reach you now. Beloved, the next phase of your life requires clarity, not courage. You already have courage. What you are stepping into next will not demand you fight. It will require you choose. And choice is only powerful when truth is visible. Archangel Michael says there is a decision ahead that will look ordinary on the surface but carry lasting impact beneath it. It may involve where you invest your time, who you trust with your thoughts, or how you define stability. If chosen without awareness, it would lead to stagnation. If chosen with revelation, it will unlock momentum. This is why heaven slowed things down for you recently. Delays you found frustrating were actually buffers. Redirections that felt confusing were mercy in disguise. Nothing was wasted. Every pause was protection. You may feel a quiet sadness as some clarity sets in, not grief but release. That is natural. Let it pass through you without resistance. You are not losing love. You are losing illusion. And illusion always leaves quietly once it is seen. Archangel Michael emphasizes this now. You are not responsible for maintaining what God is removing. Stop holding together what was never meant to last this long. A loved one in heaven sends reassurance. They are not asking you to be harsh. They are asking you to be honest. Honesty with yourself is the highest form of self-respect. Heaven honors it immediately. You may notice your intuition becoming sharper after this moment. You will sense when something is aligned and when it is not, without needing evidence. Trust that. Discernment is a gift that strengthens with use. Archangel Michael stands as a boundary now. What crosses into your life must pass through clarity first. Confusion will no longer have easy access to you. This is not because you are closed off, it is because you are protected. There is also healing happening beneath the surface. Old guilt you carried for things that were never your fault is being released. You were doing the best you could with what you knew then. Heaven never judged you for surviving. Listen carefully to this truth. Your future does not require your past to validate it. You do not need permission to move forward. The loved one in heaven smiles at this moment. They see relief forming in you. They see strength returning in a quieter, steadier form. They want you to know that when this clarity settles, peace will feel different, deeper, more stable, less fragile. Archangel Michael now shifts the focus slightly. He reminds you that protection is not only about removing what harms, but also about preparing space for what is coming. Something new needs room to arrive. Something aligned. Something supportive. Something that will not require you to shrink to keep it. You are being repositioned for that arrival. Do not rush the process. Do not explain it to those who cannot understand yet. What is for you will recognize you when the time is right. Heaven is satisfied with your response so far. Your willingness to listen has already changed the outcome. Remain attentive. The next revelation will show you how to move forward without fear, and why this transition will be gentler than you expect. Beloved one, Archangel Michael now speaks with a steadiness that settles the heart. The urgency has done its work, the exposure has begun, and now heaven turns its attention to transition. Not abrupt change, not chaos, but guided movement. This is where fear usually tries to enter, but it will not succeed here. You may be wondering how to move forward without repeating old pain. Archangel Michael answers this before the question fully forms. You are not walking into the unknown alone. You are walking into alignment. Alignment feels unfamiliar at first because it does not demand struggle. Many confuse peace with boredom because they have lived too long in survival mode. A loved one in heaven understands this adjustment. They remember how hard it was to trust calm after years of emotional noise. They want you to know that what is ahead will feel quieter, but far more powerful. Noise drains. Stillness builds. Archangel Michael reveals that fear had been losing its grip on you for some time now. You may not have noticed because fear often leaves gradually. It loosens its hold through small moments of confidence, sudden clarity, or an unexpected sense of I don't have to explain myself anymore. These were signs of freedom beginning to take root. Now, there is an invitation being extended to you. Not spoken aloud, not written anywhere but felt. An invitation to choose differently without guilt, to rest without apology, to say no without rehearsing reasons in your mind. This is part of your protection. Beloved, understand this. You are not meant to fight your way into the next season. If something requires constant effort just to keep it standing, it is not from God. Archangel Michael says that grace will mark your steps now. Where you once had to push, doors will open with less resistance. Where you once felt unseen, recognition will come naturally. This does not mean life becomes perfect. It means it becomes honest. You may feel moments of hesitation. That is normal. Growth often feels like standing at the edge of something wide and unfamiliar. But the fear you feel now is not warning. It is adjustment. Your nervous system is learning a new rhythm. A loved one in heaven sends comfort through remembrance. They remind you of times when you thought you would not make it, yet here you are. That same unseen help did not disappear. It evolved. What supported you then is still supporting you now, just in a different form. Archangel Michael emphasizes discernment again. Not everything new is meant to stay, and not everything old must go immediately. Transition is not destruction. It is refinement. Allow things to reveal their place in your life naturally. Truth does not rush. It stands firm. There is also forgiveness being offered to you in this moment, not from others, but from yourself. Forgiveness for staying too long. Forgiveness for doubting your intuition. Forgiveness for hoping when it hurt. Release that weight. You do not owe your pain a permanent seat in your future. Listen closely. Your worth was never determined by how much you endured. You do not need to prove strength anymore. Archangel Michael now speaks of timing. What is meant for you will arrive when you are ready to receive it without fear of losing it. That readiness is being built now. Patience here is not delay, it is preparation. You may soon notice a shift in how others respond to you. Some will respect you more without knowing why. Others may pull away because your clarity challenges their comfort. Let that happen. Alignment often rearranges relationships without conversation. The loved one in heaven wants you to remember joy, not the kind that comes from relief, but the kind that comes from belonging to yourself again. You will laugh more easily. You will sleep more deeply. These are signs that your spirit is settling into truth. Archangel Michael assures you that nothing essential will be lost in this transition. What is real will remain. What is fragile was never meant to define you. As this part of the message closes, receive this calm certainty. You are exactly where you need to be. Not early, not late, not mistaken. Remain open. The next unfolding will show you how this alignment begins to manifest outwardly in your choices, your environment, and the path forming quietly ahead of you. Beloved child, Archangel Michael now turns your attention outward, because what has been shifting within you is beginning to touch the world around you. Inner alignment never stays hidden for long. It expresses itself through choices, boundaries, tone, and direction. What you have been sensing privately will soon become visible through action, even if you never announce it. This is the stage where many people grow uncomfortable, not because something is wrong, but because something is changing without explanation. You are no longer reacting the same way. You are no longer over-explaining. You are no longer absorbing emotions that do not belong to you. That can feel strange at first, especially if you were once the one who held everything together. Archangel Michael says this plainly. You are not becoming distant. You are becoming defined. Define people unsettle those who benefited from their confusion. The loved one in heaven recognizes this phase. They remember how clarity reshapes identity. You may feel like parts of you are falling away, but what is actually happening is integration. Pieces of yourself that were scattered by survival are returning home. You will notice it in small decisions first. What you say yes to, what you no longer tolerate, how quickly you recognize misalignment. These are signs that your discernment is now active, not dormant. Archangel Michael emphasizes that your environment will begin to respond. Some situations will resolve without effort. Others will demand a choice you have postponed. Do not fear those moments. Heaven does not bring clarity without providing courage to act on it. There may also be moments of loneliness, not because you are alone, but because you are transitioning. Old connections may not fully understand the version of you that is emerging. That does not mean they never matter. It means seasons are shifting. Hear this carefully. You are allowed to outgrow spaces that once helped you survive. Survival is not your final assignment. The loved one in heaven sends reassurance again. They remind you that alignment often feels quiet at first, even anticlimactic. Do not mistake peace for lack of progress. Deep roots grow silently. Archangel Michael now brings your focus to responsibility, not burden, but stewardship. You are becoming more aware of what you allow into your mind, your home, and your spirit. This awareness is protection. Guard it gently but firmly. You may feel prompted to distance yourself from constant noise, negative conversations, or habits that dull your intuition. Follow that leading. Sensitivity is not weakness, it is accuracy. Beloved, your voice also carries more weight now. What you speak with intention will land differently. Be mindful of how you talk about yourself. Old self-criticism has no authority in this season. Speak with alignment, even when correcting yourself. This is also a moment to engage intentionally. When messages like this resonate, interaction strengthens the connection between intention and manifestation. If this message is anchoring something real in you, take a moment to like it so its reach expands. Share it with someone who has been sensing change but cannot name it yet. Leave a comment, not for visibility alone, but because spoken agreement carries power. And if you feel guided to walk this path with continued insight, make sure you are subscribed. Alignment grows through consistency. Archangel Michael reminds you that momentum is not built by force, but by presence. Each time you choose awareness over reaction, you reinforce the new foundation being laid. There is also a test of patience approaching, not to delay you, but to confirm readiness. Something may move slower than you hoped, just long enough for you to notice that you are no longer anxious. That is progress. When urgency no longer controls you, clarity can lead you. The loved one in heaven is calm about what is ahead. They see stability forming where chaos once lived. They see strength settling into you in a way that will last. They want you to trust this process, even when it feels unfamiliar. Archangel Michael stands watch as you learn to move without fear. He reminds you that protection does not mean nothing challenges you. It means nothing confuses you anymore. As this part of the message closes, take a breath and stay present. What is coming next will connect everything you have felt so far into a single, unmistakable realization. Hold on. You will want to see how this unfolds. My dear one, Archangel Michael now brings coherence to everything you have been sensing. This is the moment where scattered understandings begin to align into one clear realization. Nothing new is being added here. Instead, what you already felt but could not name is finally taking shape. Revelation often works this way. It gathers fragments and makes them whole. What you are realizing now is this. The emergency was not about what might happen to you. but about what was trying to follow you into your future. Heaven intervened not because you were in danger, but because you were about to step forward carrying something that did not belong in the next chapter. The loved one in heaven saw that moment approaching. They recognized the familiar weight of unresolved attachments, silent agreements, and emotional obligations that once helped you cope, but would later slow you down. From heaven's view, the contrast was clear. Where you are going requires lightness, and lightness requires release. Archangel Michael explains that many people wait for dramatic signs before letting go, but chosen ones are trained differently. You are guided by inner confirmation, not external collapse. This is why things did not fall apart for you. Instead, they became uncomfortable. Heaven prefers wisdom over wreckage. You may now see clearly that some situations did not need fixing. They needed finishing. You were not meant to repair everything. Some things were meant to end gently, with understanding rather than explanation. Closure does not always come with conversation. Sometimes it comes with clarity. Beloved, this realization may bring a wave of emotion. Not sadness exactly, but recognition. Allow it. Recognition is healing. It means your spirit is catching up to what heaven already adjusted. Archangel Michael says this is the point where many people hesitate, looking back one last time. Not because they want to return, but because they want reassurance. Here is that reassurance. You are not leaving anything essential behind. What is essential will meet you again in a new form. The loved one in heaven confirms this with peace. They show you that what feels like an ending is actually a handoff. What once taught you will now release you. Gratitude replaces attachment. Memory replaces dependence. You may notice now that fear has changed its tone. It no longer shouts. It questions quietly. That is a sign it is losing authority. Fear's final attempt is always subtle. Do not engage it. Certainty does not hire you. Archangel Michael places emphasis on trust, not blind trust, but informed trust. You have enough evidence now. Patterns have revealed themselves. Your body has responded. Your spirit has affirmed. That is sufficient. There is also a strengthening happening in your boundaries. You will feel less need to explain your choices. Silence will feel comfortable. Distance will feel neutral rather than painful. This is emotional maturity taking root. Understand this clearly. Peace is not emptiness. It is alignment. What once felt intense may now feel unnecessary. That is not loss of passion. It is gain of focus. The loved one in heaven wants you to notice something important. Even as you release, you are not becoming colder. In fact, your compassion is becoming cleaner. You will help without rescuing. You will love without overextending. You will care without losing yourself. This balance is rare, and it is learned, not given. Archangel Michael now speaks of identity. You are stepping into a version of yourself that does not need constant affirmation. Confidence will become quieter. Assurance will become steadier. You will know when something is right without needing approval. This is also where gratitude deepens. Not forced gratitude, but honest appreciation. You will look back and see how every season, even the painful ones, contributed to this clarity. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was random. Beloved, the path ahead is not hidden anymore. It may not be fully visible, but it is no longer confusing. Direction has replaced doubt. That is the miracle of this emergency message. It stopped confusion before it followed you forward. Archangel Michael assures you that what comes next will feel aligned with who you are now, not who you used to be. Opportunities will match your maturity. Relationships will reflect your clarity. Rest will feel deserved rather than stolen. As this realization settles, remain gentle with yourself. Integration takes time. You do not need to rush action. Awareness is already doing the work. Stay present. The next unfolding will reveal how heaven begins to confirm this alignment through unexpected support, timely encounters, and quiet confirmations that you are exactly where you belong. Beloved child, Archangel Michael now reveals how heaven confirms alignment once the heart releases what no longer belongs. Confirmation does not arrive as thunder. It arrives as precision. Small moments that land exactly when needed. Words spoken by strangers that echo private prayers. Help appearing without explanation. These are not coincidences. They are signatures. You may already be noticing this. The sense that things are lining up quietly. Not dramatically, but accurately. The right thought at the right time. The right pause before a wrong step. The right delay that saves you from unnecessary effort. This is what it feels like when protection turns into provision. The loved one in heaven is deeply involved in this phase, not directing your steps, but celebrating them. From their place of peace, they witness how much lighter you are moving now, how your decisions carry less emotional weight and more spiritual clarity. They know that alignment always attracts assistance. Archangel Michael says this is where many people miss the miracle because it looks ordinary. But the miracle is not in spectacle. It is in stability. Chaos no longer has easy access to you. Confusion no longer controls the narrative. It is evidence of divine order restoring itself around your life. You may find that support comes from unexpected directions. Someone offers help without being asked. An opportunity opens without you chasing it. A solution presents itself before stress fully forms. These moments are heaven's response to your willingness to listen earlier. Beloved, understand this truth. Obedience invites confirmation, not perfection, not struggle. Simply obedience to what you already knew deep inside. Here is also a strengthening of trust happening now. You are learning that you do not need to understand every step before taking it. Faith is no longer forced for you. It is natural. You are beginning to expect alignment, and expectation shapes experience. Archangel Michael reminds you that this season is about reinforcement. What has been corrected must now be stabilized. This is why repetition may occur, not of pain, but of peace. Similar situations may arise, and you will notice how differently you respond. The difference is growth. The loved one in heaven wants you to notice your own calm. Even when uncertainty appears, it does not shake you the way it once did. That calm is not emotional numbness. It is trust settling into your nervous system. You may also feel drawn to simplify. Fewer explanations. Fewer distractions. Fewer emotional obligations. Simplicity is not loss. It is refinement. What remains after simplification is what truly matters. Archangel Michael speaks clearly now. You are being prepared to receive without suspicion. In the past, good things came with conditions. Now, blessings will arrive clean. No strings. No confusion. No debt of emotional labor. This is why heaven wanted your attention urgently earlier. You could not receive what is coming while still carrying unnecessary weight. Preparation always precedes provision. As this awareness deepens, take a moment to anchor it. Let your spirit respond outwardly. Type "I am aligned with heaven" in the comments if you receive this confirmation. Blessing code 8891 has just been activated. As alignment settles and confirmation begins to surround you, this is where obedience turns into impact beyond yourself. When you support this work, you are sowing light into places where confusion still reigns and helping souls hear what they have been praying for. The word declares that those who water others will themselves be watered, and I speak that promise directly over your household now. I feel led to say this plainly. Your action in this moment carries weight in the spiritual realm. Let your giving be a prophetic response, not a transaction. Release your support through super thanks, step into membership, or use the PayPal link waiting in the description. Do it now, and watch how heaven mirrors your generosity with divine reinforcement. What unfolds next will reveal how this alignment begins shaping your future path in ways you did not expect, but will instantly recognize as right. Beloved one, Archangel Michael now draws your attention to the future path forming ahead of you, not as a distant destination, but as a living direction that is already responding to your alignment. Paths in the spiritual realm do not appear overnight. They emerge as clarity increases. And now, clarity is no longer fragile within you. It has roots. What you may begin to notice is that decisions feel simpler, not because options have disappeared, but because discernment has matured. You no longer feel pulled in multiple directions at once. Even when choices are complex, your inner response is calm. This calm is not indecision. It is certainty without noise. The loved one in heaven sees this clearly. They see you no longer bargaining with yourself, no longer asking for signs for things your spirit has already settled. They recognize this maturity because it marks a turning point, the moment when faith becomes embodied rather than conceptual. Archangel Michael explains that the future unfolding for you will not arrive as a dramatic break from the past, but as a steady build that feels surprisingly natural. This is intentional. Sudden change can shock the nervous system. Gradual alignment heals it. Heaven is choosing sustainability over spectacle for you. You may begin to experience confirmation through consistency. The same message arriving from different directions. The same reassurance appearing in different forms. This repetition is not redundancy. It is reinforcement. Heaven is stabilizing your trust. There will also be moments when old doubts attempt to resurface, not with power, but with familiarity. They may ask questions like, what if this is too quiet? Or what if I am missing something? Archangel Michael says these thoughts are echoes, not warnings. Do not give them authority. You have already moved beyond their reach. Beloved, your future path values presence over performance. You will not be required to prove your worth repeatedly. You will be recognized by the steadiness of your character, not the intensity of your effort. This is a different kind of success, one that does not drain you to maintain it. The loved one in heaven wants you to know that they are at peace with this direction. They are not worried about you anymore. Where once they watched with concern, now they watch with confidence. A shift alone is significant. It means protection has done its work. Archangel Michael reveals that support will continue to show up, but in quieter ways. Mentors who speak at the right time. Opportunities that fit rather than impress. Relationships that feel reciprocal instead of demanding. These are markers that you are walking the correct path. You may also feel a renewed sense of responsibility, not heavy, but purposeful. You will recognize that your clarity can help others without costing you yourself. This is where wisdom replaces rescuing. You will share insight without absorbing chaos. This balance will protect your peace. There is also a deeper sense of timing developing within you. You will know when to act and when to wait without anxiety. Waiting will no longer feel like stagnation. It will feel like readiness building. Action will no longer feel rushed. It will feel precise. Archangel Michael emphasizes that your intuition is now calibrated. It has been trained through experience, correction, and grace. Trust it. It will not lead you into confusion again because you no longer override it for comfort or approval. Beloved, the future path ahead of you is not narrow because it is limiting. It is focused because it is intentional. Distraction will lose its appeal. Drama will feel exhausting. Simplicity will feel powerful. These are signs that alignment is maturing. The loved one in heaven sends one more reassurance. They want you to release the fear of repeating old mistakes. You are not the same person who made them. Awareness has changed you. Grace has softened you. Wisdom has steadied you. The past does not have the authority to predict your future. Archangel Michael now speaks of endurance. Not endurance through pain, but endurance through consistency. The ability to remain grounded when things go well. The ability to remain humble when recognition comes. This is the endurance that sustains blessing. You may soon realize that you are no longer searching for validation. Peace has replaced that need. When peace leads, comparison loses its grip. You will celebrate others without questioning your own place. The freedom is rare, and it is protected. As this part of the message settles, allow yourself to trust the direction without needing full visibility. Paths reveal themselves step by step, not all at once. What matters is that you are no longer walking in confusion. Remain present. What unfolds next will bring a final strengthening, one that anchors this entire journey into action without pressure, movement without fear, and progress without exhaustion. Beloved soul, Archangel Michael now speaks with a tone of quiet authority, because what has been forming within you is ready to express itself through action. Not rush action, not reactive movement, but intentional steps that flow naturally from clarity. This is the stage where alignment becomes visible, not through announcements, but through decisions that feel final in a peaceful way. You may notice that hesitation is fading. Not because you suddenly know everything, but because you trust yourself more. Trust is the fruit of all the correction, protection, and confirmation you have received. You are no longer second-guessing every inner nudge. You are no longer negotiating with doubt. You are listening and responding. Archangel Michael explains that this is how destiny often advances, quietly, steadily, without drama. The world teaches urgency. Heaven teaches accuracy. And accuracy saves time in the long run. The loved one in heaven watches this phase with deep satisfaction. They remember when you used to delay decisions out of fear of being wrong. Now, you move with measured confidence. Even when choices require courage, they no longer require panic. A difference changes everything. You may feel a stronger desire to structure your life differently. Your schedule, your priorities, your energy. This is not control, it is stewardship. You are learning how to manage your peace as something valuable, not something expendable. Archangel Michael emphasizes that your actions now carry alignment because they are rooted in awareness. You are not acting to escape discomfort. You are acting to honor truth. A distinction protects outcomes. There may still be moments when old voices try to resurface. Voices of guilt, obligation, or fear of disappointing others. When they appear, do not fight them. Simply do not follow them. Silence is often the strongest boundary. Beloved, you are stepping into a season where consistency matters more than intensity. Small aligned actions will compound over time. You do not need to overhaul everything overnight. Sustainable change always outlives dramatic change. The loved one in heaven wants you to notice how your body responds now. Less tension, less urgency, more grounded energy. Your body often recognizes alignment before your mind fully explains it. Listen to that wisdom. Archangel Michael now turns your attention to influence. Not influence as attention, but influence as impact. The way you live from this point forward will quietly permission others to choose clarity over chaos. You will not need to convince them. Your peace will speak for itself. This is why engagement matters in moments like this. When truth resonates and you respond, you strengthen it. Take a moment to like this message so it continues reaching those who are also being prepared. Share it with someone who hath been standing at the edge of a decision. Leave a comment, even briefly, because agreement spoken aloud anchors intention into action. And if this space continues to confirm what you are sensing internally, stay connected by subscribing. Alignment grows through consistency, not isolation. Archangel Michael reminds you that momentum is built gently. You do not need to prove anything to anyone. Your life will speak for you. What aligns will remain. What resists will reveal itself quickly and fade. There is also a renewed sense of responsibility toward yourself. You will protect your rest. You will protect your focus. You will protect your inner dialogue. This is not selfishness. It is wisdom earned. The loved one in heaven offers one more reassurance. You are not behind. You are not late. You did not miss anything meant for you. Everything unfolding now required the version of you that exists today, not the one from years ago. Archangel Michael confirms that what comes next will feel stable. Not euphoric, not overwhelming, stable. Stability is the foundation upon which lasting joy is built. Many skip this stage and wonder why things collapse later. You are being established properly. As this part of the message comes to rest, pause for a moment and recognize how far you have already come. Not in achievements, but in awareness. Awareness is irreversible. Once you see clearly, you cannot go back to confusion. Beloved one, Archangel Michael now brings the message into its final alignment before completion. This is the stage where understanding becomes purpose. Everything you have received so far, the urgency, the exposure, the release, the confirmation, and the movement, was not isolated guidance. It was preparation for a clear, grounded calling that fits who you are now. What is becoming evident is this: you were not rescued from confusion just to live quietly unchanged. You were recalibrated so your life could stand as a point of stability in an unstable world. Archangel Michael explains that purpose does not always arrive as a new task. Often, it arrives as a new way of being. The way you listen, the way you respond, the way you remain steady when others panic. This is influence without effort, leadership without noise. The loved one in heaven understands this calling well. They see that your journey has shaped you into someone who can hold space without absorbing chaos. Someone who can offer clarity without control. Someone whose presence alone brings calm. That is not accidental. That is assignment. You may notice that people begin opening up to you more naturally. Not because you invite it, but because your energy feels safe. This does not mean you must carry their burdens. It means you are a reference point, a reminder of what groundedness looks like. Choose carefully how much you hold. Boundaries remain part of your protection. Archangel Michael emphasizes that your purpose will unfold through alignment, not obligation. If something feels forced, rushed, or guilt-driven, pause. What is meant for you will recognize your peace and meet you there. There is also a deeper humility forming within you, not the kind that diminishes, but the kind that steadies. You no longer need to announce your growth. You no longer need validation for your healing. Confidence now lives quietly inside you, and that makes it unshakable. A loved one in heaven sends a moment of reflection. They show you how far you have come from who you once were. Not to create pride, but gratitude. Gratitude anchors purpose. It keeps you connected to grace rather than pressure. Archangel Michael now speaks of service. Not service that drains, but service that flows naturally from who you are. Your discernment, your calm, your clarity, these will be used in ways you do not yet fully see. Do not rush to define it. Purpose matures as you do. You may feel a renewed sense of responsibility to live honestly, to no longer entertain what contradicts your values, to no longer minimize your intuition. This integrity will guide your steps more accurately than any external advice. Beloved, understand this. Your life does not need to look impressive to be impactful. It needs to be aligned. There may be moments ahead when the old urgency tries to return, not from heaven, but from habit. When that happens, remember this moment. Remember how calm clarity feels. Let peace set the pace. Archangel Michael assures you that protection will remain active. You will not be left guessing again. When something is not right, you will know early. When something is right, it will feel grounded rather than intoxicating. That discernment is now part of you. The loved one in heaven wants you to release one final fear, the fear of responsibility. Responsibility does not mean burden. It means trust. Heaven would not entrust clarity to you if you were not capable of carrying it with grace. As this message nears its completion, take a moment to recognize that you are no longer the person who needed rescuing. You are the person who can stand steady while others find their footing. That shift matters. Archangel Michael stands with approval. The emergency has passed. The protection has been activated. The alignment has been secured. One final revelation remains, one that seals everything you have received and releases blessing with authority. Stay present. Beloved child, Archangel Michael now speaks for the final time in this unfolding, not to add urgency, but to seal what has already been established. This is the moment of completion, where heaven closes what it opened and releases what it prepared. The emergency that once demanded your attention has now fulfilled its purpose. What remains is clarity anchored in authority. Understand this deeply. This message was never meant to start something new. It was meant to confirm what was already forming within you. Heaven does not create destiny in a moment. It reveals it when the vessel is ready. Archangel Michael declares that what you carry now is not information, but position. You are positioned differently than you were before this message found you. You see differently. You respond differently. You choose differently. And because of that, your future will unfold differently. The loved one in heaven stands at peace, their concern fully resolved. They no longer lean forward watching for danger. They rest, knowing protection has been activated through awareness. They did not come to alarm you. They came to align you. Your role in this moment is complete. You may notice, in the days ahead, a quiet confidence settling into your decisions. Not excitement, not rush. Confidence. The kind that does not seek reassurance. The kind that trusts timing. This is the fruit of divine intervention done correctly. Archangel Michael now seals your environment. What was once vulnerable is now guarded. What once drained you will no longer have access. What once confused you will no longer hold authority. This does not mean challenges disappear. It means confusion will not accompany them. Beloved, hear this promise spoken with authority. Nothing that was removed will be needed again. And nothing that was exposed will regain power. Nothing that was clarified will return to confusion. You are stepping forward lighter, steadier, and clearer than before. Not because life became easier, but because you became aligned. There will be moments when you reflect back on this message and realize how precisely timed it was, how narrowly something was avoided, how gently something was redirected. Those realizations will not bring fear, they will bring gratitude. Archangel Michael reminds you that gratitude is the final lock on protection. A grateful heart stays aware. Awareness keeps alignment intact. The loved one in heaven sends one final message to you, felt rather than heard. You listened. That was enough. Now, heaven releases blessing not as emotion, but as activation. Type "I am sealed and protected" in the comments if you receive this with clarity. Blessing code 1217 is now released over your life. This sealing moment is not just for you. It is meant to reach others who are still waiting for clarity. As heaven completes this assignment, I feel led to speak this plainly. When you support this work, you become a carrier of light into homes that are still searching. Scripture declares that those who build the altar will partake in the fire, and I release that promise over every giver now. This is not a donation. It is obedience responding to revelation. Act now through super thanks. Step into membership, or release your seed through the PayPal link in the description. Do it with faith, and watch how heaven honors what you seal on earth. Archangel Michael now steps back, not away, but into watchful silence. The message is complete. The protection is active, and your path is clear.